What does it take in order for us to change? There are 7 traits of change readiness, and this is the topic that we are going to talk about in today's episode. So make sure you tune in till the end. Hi, and welcome to Live Your Hero's Journeys podcast. I am your host, Pheh Sze. This podcast is created as a source of inspiration and practical wisdom for you to live to your full potential by embracing your unique self. In today's topic, we're going to talk about what does it take in order for us to change. There are 7 main characteristics or traits that you need in order to change. The trait number 1 is determination. In order for us to change anything, first we must have the desire and determination in order to change. Without that, we don't have the catalyst or the spark for us to move. Remember, when we have an inertia, when we sit down, or when you're driving and the car stops, you need extra force to push it in order to move. That's why the first thing that you need is determination. And determination also will help you to stay on the course when the things are not working for you or when you're met with obstacles. And determination is the trait that will keep you going. If you have low determination, you may not even start to create the change that you want in life. However, on the flip side, if you're too determined, sometimes you may get into a burnout. So just make sure that you're aware which spectrum of determination trait that you have and to calibrate in between. The second trait for change readiness is resourcefulness. So what does resourcefulness mean? That means you have the capability to find new ideas to solve the problem. It could be that you're resourceful in asking for help or connecting with the right people or doing the research and things like that. So when you're resourceful, you'll find multiple ways to solve the problem, and you can have some creative solutions as well for your condition or the things that you want to change. And you're not set in the way of how things should be as well. The third trait is optimism. When you are not optimistic, chances are you're going to think that whatever you want to change is going to fail. So you're not even going to take the first step if that's what you think that's going to happen. And most of the time, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're optimistic of how things are going to work, maybe you see more opportunities and you see crisis as an opportunity rather than an obstacle. So the more optimistic you are, then the higher chances of you wanting to change and achieving the change that you want. But at the same time, if you're way too optimistic, you may not be realistic enough to figure out what the obstacles that you might encounter along the way and find strategy in order to overcome those obstacles. So it's great to be optimistic, but at the same time, make sure you do the risk assessment as well. And the other trait is confidence. Because whenever we do any changes, we are entering to the unknown. And the more confident we are in our capability and in ourselves, the more forceful your stride will be. You walk with more clarity, for example. And the more confidence you have, and it's easier for others to believe in you, to believe in your idea. And the more confident you are, the more you feel motivated in order to make the change that you want to make. The other trait is adaptability. As you know, the world is changing so quickly. The faster you can adapt to the situation, the better it is. In this world, when things move so quick like this, you can't be set in the way that or using the past to make decision. When things change, you have to change with it and not stick to the old routine. There are a lot of companies that went to become a dinosaur because they didn't innovate and they didn't change and adapt with the new environment. So it is important for us to adapt to the new reality as it presents to ourselves. And sometimes that may even mean changing the plan. Sixth trait is adventurousness. Whenever you want to change, again, is to venture to the unknown, and when you have a sense of adventure, you might take things more in stride because everything is new to you and you have the idea of venturing to the unknown and it feels exciting to you rather than being scary, for example. So for all changes, it is unknown territory, right? Like, when you travel to a new country, there is so many unknowns, new culture, new people, new cuisine, new custom. And you must have some sort of sense of adventurousness when you want to create some change in your life, because it's something that is new. And the more adventurous you are, the more open you are to different ideas. The last and not least, the seventh trait of change readiness is the tolerance for ambiguity. That means that you are comfortable being uncomfortable. There are many things that is unknown when you change, and we can't figure every single step out. It is okay to kind of see what you can see in front of you, and then as you go further, you see the steps clearer and clearer. But if you have very low tolerance of ambiguity, when you want to be in control all the time, it's a bit harder to change because there's no way for us to know all the risks that is going to present to us when we change. There are so many unknowns and things are changing so quickly. So it is important for us to be comfortable of being uncomfortable. And that is going to help you to maneuver your way in any change and any new environment. So, which of the 7 traits that you think are your strengths and which one are your weaknesses? Please leave them in a comment below if you are watching this on YouTube. You can also take an assessment on my website of the 7 traits of change readiness. And in this assessment, you tell you the exact score of all the traits that you have and also the strategies in order to implement to bring you closer to the change, whether you score lower or higher, and what are the strategies that you need in order to achieve your goal. So you can find that on my website at www.pheh-se-te.com, or you can check them out on my description link below. I hope that you find this episode to be useful and think of what are your strengths and the weaknesses that you can identify in those traits. So until the next episode, live a life worth writing about. I'll see you soon.